Server Paragon level capped. Update is really good. I like the update despite the Server Paragon being reset back to 320. And the new hell difficulties being unlocked purely through combat rating is a good change. What's going on, everybody? So today we have the official patch notes dropping. It is December 12th. I thought it was going to come out tomorrow. Usually they have them come out like the day before, but I guess this is 2 days before. So let's dive into it without any time wasting. Welcome to Terrace Tide, our second major update for Diablo Immortal. Now, some people were confused because I mentioned that this might be our third major update. Before they started using this terminology, minor update and major update, they did the class change update. So I consider that a major update, as well as a majority of people do. This was just before they started using that terminology. So it's not technically a major update, but in terms of content, I consider that a third major update. Let's see what we got. We need to do it in Storm Point, our first post-launch zone. Okay, so we're getting a new zone. As they said, players will sail to the Salt Scrub Prison Island to investigate a sinister plot to harness the power of the largest World Stone Shard, etc., etc. So it looks like we have a whole new storyline with this. That's cool for those who enjoy it. I personally will probably be just running through it to get to the new zone, see if there's any new zone experience farms. We want to take a moment to thank you for helping us reach this monumental milestone. It is our understanding that this would be impossible to achieve without you, our community. Okay, incredible feedback. Got it, love it. Before we dig into this major update, because of the incoming holidays, we will not release a content update in 2 weeks as we traditionally have. Okay, so this is going to be our only patch for a few weeks here. And it looks like the maintenance will happen December 14th from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. PST. As per usual, let's see what we got here. We got a lot of things. I mean, look at this. We have like new gems, new Helliquary. So it looks like the cap to the Helicory is going to be expounded on here. That's my guess, but let's continue on. Feature updates, introducing Hell difficulty 6, 7, and 8. They're going to be able to raise their Paragon level to never before achieved heights. You'll be able to see difficulty 6, 7, and 8. If battling the strongest nightmares to walk through Hell's Gate seems intimidating, don't worry, our new Server Paragon level experience and loot bonus will elevate you to Hell 6 promptly. Ooh. Looks like we're going to find out how to unlock them through our Void Wound Heliquary section. Daily activities, we will have received a great deal of feedback stating that they felt legendary items do not drop enough, and we are going to incorporate these changes to make it better. This is probably something that we've already addressed in a previous kind of post. So let's see what we got here. Bounty chest now has a higher chance to drop legendary items. Awesome. Completing a bestiary quest will now guarantee a legendary item upon the first turn in each day. And completing 3 dungeons will now reward a guaranteed set item once per day. Awesome. Okay, so this is all stuff that we already knew was going to happen based on the Chinese patch notes, which is very, very exciting. This is going to make the game better, I think, for a lot of people. So that's a great change right off the bat. Below Server Paragon system, to help prepare all adventurers for the dangers awaiting them in the new Storm Point zone, we have made some adjustments to the experience of catching up in Server Paragon levels. All servers will be set to the Server Paragon level of 320. What? 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 Why? What the heck? Hold on. I'm gonna have to start the game. I need to know what my Server Paragon level is before I get like really annoyed. All right, guys, we're jumping into the game. I had to take just a step back here because that is infuriating. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. That is absolutely ridiculous. Looks like the cycle just reset for us. I mean, it's it's literally 390. What the heck? Why would they reset us back to 320? This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen them do. This is literally the dumbest thing I've ever seen. This patch might be a decent patch, but this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in this game. Why do they do this? The whole point of the game is to have this scaling Server Paragon level, and that we're supposed to progress as we go through. And then they're going to take that whole system of scale progression and then delete your last month of progression. We're talking about 70 levels. This is a month of Server Paragon progression. This is the worst thing I've ever seen them do. Like, are they gonna make it so that our legendary items are gonna scale way higher because we now are server Paragon 320, but we've been farming at 390 or 380 or whoever? Maybe some people are at like 400 right now. They're not even gonna be able to play the game for a month and get any upgrades, literally because they've already been farming at the higher server Paragon. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen them do. What? You're kidding me. I hate this. This really sours everything that they're about to do in this update for me, at least. I don't know. I don't know. I like to be positive, but this is the worst thing I've ever seen them do. I would like, okay, so what I'll say here before I like super bash them is that we need to know how this like changes things. Like, are they gonna upgrade the legendary items? Are they going to put everyone's level back? Are they going to keep everyone's level? It seems so counterintuitive because they're like, oh, here you go. Here's some XP bonuses and some set drop bonuses and legendary drop bonuses for people who are below Server Paragon level. And then we're also going to roll the Server Paragon back 70 levels. So the majority of you aren't even going to get access to this. What? I hate it. I don't know why this is a thing. Why? Like, what is the point besides just making the game elongated for no apparent reason and then giving anybody that's actually been playing the game a huge middle finger because they can't actually get anything? Like what can they do? Like, realistically, just I'm stuck on this because this is honestly one of the most critical points of this whole update. What can they do for the next month? They can't get legendary item upgrades. Okay. They can't get set item upgrades, assuming Hell 6 is going to be higher level. All they could do is progress the storyline. They can't get Helicory upgrades because that's capped. All they could sit there and do is progress the ancestral tableau. That's it, because they can't get any XP. I hate it. Wow. Okay. I guess we'll continue onwards. But I'm actually irritated right now. Sorry guys. 3 new Paragon trees also arriving: Massacre, Brawler, and Duelist. We recognize that having new Paragon trees locked behind specific Paragon levels makes them feel more time-gated. Doesn't necessarily feel like you've earned them. We're shifting Paragon trees to unlock at different Hell difficulties to help Hell difficulties feel more rewarding. Okay. Cool. Massacre focuses on increasing your efficiency as you rack up kills and raise your streak counter. As far as I've seen, none of these Paragon trees are actually that good. For example, Massacre doesn't really give you enough bonuses to be used over Treasure Hunter. Brawler focuses on bolstering your defenses against elite enemies. This one I don't like either because you don't want more defense when you're fighting in dungeons. You want more damage. Duelist focus on utilizing skills to stack damage bonuses. You must avoid taking damage to maintain these benefits. In the event that you do receive damage, all your power will build up and erupt towards static discharge. This one could be interesting. As far as I've seen of these, I'm not a huge fan, but they are going to give us more stats, which is always good. But, who knows with this new Saber Paragon level. We've also just the way Cheat Death works. Its cooldown has been increased. Okay. I like this change personally. Some people will hate it. I like it. I think Cheat Death is a very annoying mechanic and not a fun interactive mechanic. So I'm glad they increased the cooldown. Monk skills. Okay, so it looks like they've adjusted the way you unlock the skills, and they adjusted the effectiveness of the monk. So looks like their monk is getting a massive buff, hopefully. So it looks like all these skills are going to be unlocking sooner, which is cool. It doesn't really matter now for most people because they've already gotten all these skills. But then we've also tuned up some underused monk skills. For example, Flying Kick's range was increased. Their cooldown was decreased. This is pretty big because I think people sometimes use Flying Kick, especially with some legendary modifications. Cyclone Strike's charge time was reduced to half a second, and the radius was increased. Again, a nice change. Wave Strike's charge time was reduced to half a second, and the radius was increased. Wave of Light's damage was increased. Exploding Palm's debuff now also causes the enemy to bleed. Bleed effect will be applied to all legendary affixes for Exploding Palm, and Deadly Reach's attack area was increased and does full damage to your primary target, 30% of that damage to all enemies in the area. Interesting. Okay, so I don't think there's any really game-changing changes here for the monk, but it's always nice to see changes that increase the monk's viability. So I'd love to see it. Set items. We've determined that Vithu's Urge's 4-piece set bonus provided double the attack speed compared to what is in-game description stated. We have fixed a set that now provides the intended 30% attack speed. Since this particular set was overperformed by significant amounts, we wanted to create more parity between the sets. Okay, so this is actually a cool change, But I don't know about this. I wonder if this is a bug because I've tested Vithus on several different videos, and it provided around a 30% attack speed increase compared to how fast channeling was before, how fast your attacks were before. So at least from my testing, from what I've done on certain skills, maybe this is more recent because they have adjusted some things like with the set crafting, and I haven't tested it in about 2.5 months or so. So maybe this is true. And maybe that's why people feel like this is so good recently, because I have seen a lot of uptick in terms of viability for Vithus, or at least people's opinion of Vithus. But from my testing, I didn't notice this. So I'm not sure about this. But regardless, let's see what they've done in terms of changing it. Win lofts gain 1,000 wins when in combat, increased your movement speed by 15%. When 1,000 wins deactivates for 2 seconds if you take damage. Okay. What was it before? Wasn't this exactly the same? I guess I think it was deactivates for 3 seconds or 4 seconds. So I guess that's the change. Isatar imbued. Each time you defeat an enemy, gain 30% increased movement speed for 3 seconds. I believe this was for 2 seconds before. Feasting Baron's pack, 4-piece bonus increases damage done by all sources by 20%. This was 15% before. Okay. Hero's Journey. Following the maintenance windows for this major content update, all current progress Hero's Journey chapters 1 through 6 will be paused, and a new Hero's Journey will begin. Only chapters 1 through 4 will be available for the new Hero's Journey. Chapters 5 and 6 will be coming later. To ease chapter completion, we have removed all zone event tasks from Hero's Journey. While completing the chapters, adventurers will receive a bevy of rewards. Cool. They didn't change the zone completion, so this doesn't matter. Zone event tasks, yeah, they're annoying, and I don't do them because they're not worthwhile. But the thing that was causing everyone to be stalled is the zone completion, not the zone event tasks. Shadow War. Players that become the Immortal in Shadow War will now receive a new stamina mechanic. Whenever they move throughout the battlefield, the stamina bar will begin to drain. When the stamina bar is fully depleted, the Immortal will incur a movement speed penalty. Okay, people don't like when the Immortal's still running around, and I guess they're making it even slower. Cool. Doesn't really matter to me. I don't really participate. There's a lot of people that are still, super try hard, and it causes drama. So I've been just fully on avoiding any sort of competitive mechanic in the game because I'm not interested in involving myself in the drama. Dungeons. There is now a blacksmith located at the end of all dungeons. Okay, this is actually a big quality of life change. Ancient elites can now randomly appear in dungeons. Remember, your first ancient elite of the day guarantees a legendary item drop. This is also a big update because this is going to give you a lot of legendary items in dungeons. And a waypoint has been added to the next to the Cavern of Echoes dungeon. Okay, cool. This is actually a good change. This is actually a really, really good change for dungeons, and I'm very happy that they've added this. So I'm happy to see this. Charms increases the chance to roll plus 10 modifier while imbuing charms. Cool. I'm stuck on this one. This one's actually really good. I'm really happy they made this, and this is actually a very nice quality of life change and should not be understated because Blacksmith will save you 20 seconds every 20 minutes, and that'll add up over the course of weeks. I don't know. I look at things like, over the course of weeks because I play this game a lot. So this is actually a big deal, and the new legendary items in your dungeons will be big too. New Zone Questline. Once a player has completed Hell Difficulty 3 and has completed the Star Sign quest and is at least level 60, they may travel to Stormpoint, Diablo Immortal's first post-launch zone. Battered by rainfall and caked in mist, the island has been used as a clandestine prison to house Sanctuary's worst of the worst political prisoners. Diablo's servants, the Cult of Terror, sieging Stormpoint Keep in an attempt to retrieve the largest shard of the Worldstone. Putting their sinister plan to rest requires your urgency, but watch out, the Behemoth Howling Terror watches your every move. The new zone contains a main story quest, 20 new monsters straight out of Hell's Depths, new bosses and mini-bosses, and a horde of crabs. For a taste of nightmares the Worldstone has conjured on Stormpoint Island, watch our developer update video on Terror's Tide. I'm not going to watch this whole thing, but we'll skip around here just to see potentially the new monsters or the new zone itself. We'll probably talk about the storyline right here. I like this. Look at that. Look at all the crabs. I like the monsters there. I think they're cool. Let me just do this for full. Get this in full screen. Looks like it's bugging out here, but we have a couple new zones. Looks like, or a couple new monsters, mini bosses. It looks like a pretty cool crab major boss here. I don't know. I mean, obviously we could watch this and just see the storyline, but I don't know. I kind of want to experience it for myself. Oh, that's a freaky monster. Look at that. But it's cool. I like that they're adding new monsters in it. I think that spices up the game a little bit. You also have the limited time holiday event. There's a little bit of a story here, and then we have from December 14th to January 4th, you could show your adoration for continued warmth and safety during the Brumaltine limited time holiday event. Each day, players can complete up to 3 daily tasks in exchange for snow dust rewards. Cool. Each weekend, they can log in to receive gifts. Okay. Nothing too insane, just daily tasks with some free rewards on the weekends. Cool. New cosmetic skin. The Kraken skin. Okay. So it looks like we have a bunch of different classes here. This looks like the Demon Hunter. We have, I don't know, this looks like the Necro. Back here looks like the Monk, maybe. This looks like the Wizard. This looks like potentially the Barbarian. I'm not sure which ones are which, but they look kind of cool. I'm a fan. We have the Voidwound Helicory. So this is the most important part of the update, in my opinion, because this unlocks the new Hell difficulties. So long ago, the witches of the Sharval Wilds sealed away their demons of darkness. Now the pieces of their damage cage rain down. The new Voidwound Helicory becomes unlocked by completing the prologue quest, the Chainbreakers. The expansion of the Helicory brings along with exciting changes. Helicory raids may now be soloed across all difficulties. This is a good change. I very much like this. This makes it so you don't have to have a party, and I like that a lot. Difficulty of each Helicory boss will significantly increase each Hell difficulty. To triumph over evil, we recommend recruiting your allies to the cause. I'm sure. To unlock new Hell difficulties in Diablo Immortal, you must defeat corresponding Helicory bosses. Players may now party up across Hell difficulties 1 through 4. Dungeon difficulty will scale to each party member's respective Hell difficulty, as well as any experience gains and loot drops. So this is a great change. New players are going to love this. This basically makes dungeons like Elder Rifts, where you don't have to have a specific Hell for combat rating. Very much like this is a great change for new players. Super, super important change to make. And it looks like we're going to be able to basically get boosted to new Hell difficulties if we need to. Demonic Remains will now have also been reworked in the following ways. Demonic Remains will now drop after each Helicory boss is slain. You only receive remains for your first 5 kills following each Helicory reset on Monday and Thursday. The Trophies tab of Helicory menu now contains various slots for you to assign Demonic Remains to. Each Demonic Remain provides various bonuses to challenge rifts when placed in a slot. Previously, you could only have 1 active. You may now have up to 5. Very nice. The attributes provided by each Demonic Remain will scale to the Hell difficulty, so the higher you get, the better rewards. Very nice. Okay, so, and then we have the new ways to unlock Hell difficulties. Instead of being locked by Server Paragon, it's locked by combat rating, which is a good change, I think, overall, because this makes it so that basically, as far as I understand, this fixes the issue of, the lower drop rates if you're far past the Server Paragon level, but you're also going to get some value out of actually defeating the Helicory bosses. So Lassel is 1, Vitath is 2, Gorgothra is 3, Beledwi and Gishter is 4, and Izalek is 5. Now, I think this makes that the Hell difficulties are harder to unlock based on combat rating, so that might be a sad thing, but I think this is overall a good change. Hellas Quintet of Terror has run amok in Sanctuary. We have the Ophaneb, the Skin Veiled. Ophaneb is alone among the Voidwound demons in her fast stage with humanity. Does she aspire to be something else, or is she merely a hunter hiding in human skin? Ophaneb alone will unlock Hell difficulty 6. Okay, this is interesting. So this is how we unlock Hell difficulty 6. Catarag, the Strangling Sun. There's a little bit of a description. I'm not going to read all these because it looks like we're just talking about the description. We have Dimdral, the Crawling Woe, Oftris, the Tamer of the Fallen, and Oftris is going to unlock Hell 7, and then Fangrith unlocks with Hell 8. Okay, so one thing I'll note about this is significantly more pay to win. Okay, so I like the changes, but pay to win players are going to be so far ahead. If it's not locked behind Server Paragon, assuming this is just, as it says, Hell difficulty only, don't need to worry about Server Paragon. 7K Residence players have like a 2,000 combat rating over me, okay? Or a 1,500 combat rating over me. Because you could just buy a bunch of combat rating, right? So they're going to be able to drop Hell 6, get to Hell 6, farm Hell 6, get to Hell 7, farm Hell 7, get to Hell 8, farm Hell 8. Now, you could get boosted by pay-to-win players for sure, and I'm sure that's going to happen a little bit. But any farming area is going to be very difficult to do, assuming you're not paying a bunch. So this is a very, very heavy pay-to-win advantage system. But I think overall, I think it benefits both non-pay-to-win and pay-to-win players. I think overall, if you're grinding, that is. 5 new legendary gems. Okay, here we go. New legendary gems. 5 new legendary gems, and for 3 weeks after the release, we're going to have an upped drop rate potential if you want it. You can activate or deactivate it. It's got a 25% chance to be the new Concentrated Will legendary gem, or 25% chance to be the Hellfire Fragment legendary gem. We've seen players come up with some rather unique builds using previously released legendary gems, and cannot wait to see what the community cooks up this batch. The below values for each gem reflect the rank 10 values. Okay. You have Heartstone, 1-star gem. The duration of your absorbed shields are increased by 36%, and they also reduce the duration of loss and control effects by 24%. Interesting one. I'm going to do a full video on these later on, but I'll give you guys my initial impressions. This one, as 1-star, absorbed shield increased. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this one. If you're going to use 1-star, you're a free-to-play player. And absorbed shields are going to be low for you because they have low max HP scaling, so I'm not a huge fan of Heartstone. Curseling, 2-star gem, you have a 15% chance when attacked to release a burst of light that blinds all nearby enemies, reducing their vision and causing total loss of control for 4 seconds. Ooh, okay, so this is actually interesting. You're actually also going to increase your damage to blinded enemies. This is interesting. Again, it's a 2-star gem, so it's a free-to-play gem or a low spinner gem. 50% chance to release a burst of light and causing total loss of control. So this will proc the Chip of the Stone Flesh, which is interesting. And you're also going to deal increased damage to them. I think this could be interesting in PvP and PvE alike. This one is kind of interesting to me. The damage scaling is decent, and it reminds me of like that Blessing of the Worthy proc. And I think that could be very, very good. I wish it did a little bit of damage as well when you proc the blind, but overall, I'm actually I'm decently high on the Curseling. But it is reduced in PvP, so I'm not 100% sure on that yet. Volatility Shard, 2-star gem. When you defeat an enemy, you trigger a volatile explosion, dealing damage while granting yourself 8% increased damage. Okay, so this is great, actually. This 2-star gem, again, it's a free-to-play low spinner gem, but it's going to be great for open world farming. I think that this is going to be arguably the best open world farming gem for a low spender or free-to-play, and that could actually be a decent, decently good, viable gem for most people, because most people do a lot of open world farming or dungeon farming. Concentrated Will, the 5-star gems. These ones are the ones I'm really looking out for, because if you are at like 3K residents plus, these are going to be the gems that you're focusing on. If you're below 3K residents, you might be using one of these. But as far as I've seen, there isn't really anything here that you may want to use over the ones that you currently are using, except for maybe the Volatility Shard. But let's check out these 5-star gems. Using a dash skill calls a guardian angel to your aid, unleashing a holy blast of light in your direction, dealing damage, and it's going to return to the high heavens, increasing your damage movement speed for 16% for 2 seconds. Interesting. So decent damage. This will do, for the average 3K player, this will do like 15K damage, 14K damage. And it's going to give you some movement speed and some damage. It can occur every 6 seconds, which is actually pretty good. So you're going to use a dash and you can burst damage. I actually like this gem a lot. I like this gem a lot in PvP. Again, you can do something like, for example, let's just say you're barbing, right? Run this gem, you're going to get a big hit. You're going to be able to Furious Charge in, and you're going to have a bunch of burst damage when you jump in, and you're going to have some movement speed. So I actually kind of like this gem. For PvE, I could see this being useful in open world farming again, because you're oftentimes using dash skills, so you're just going to be able to increase your movement speed. So I actually kind of like this overall. Big fan. Hellfire Fragment, 5-star gem. Using a skill conjures 3 Hellfire blazes around you to seek enemies, exploding them, dealing 108% base damage. Enemies struck by multiple Hellfire blazes take damage, 50% additional damage, and cannot occur more than once every 20 seconds. Okay. 108% base damage. That means that each one of these are going to tick for about 11k damage, but which means that if you hit for multiple, I imagine that it's going to deal about 20k damage total if you hit for all 3, which is actually not bad. And I can see this being good on something like a wizard. I can see this being good on something like a barbarian. I can see this being good for something like a monk, where you're dashing in PvP, or in PvE. It's actually a really nice farming gem. I actually like both these 5-star gems, and I think they're viable for farming, and that's one of the biggest things for me. When I'm looking at a gem, I want it to be good in PvE, because that's the majority of content we're doing, but I also want it to give me some value in PvP, just in case I decide to go ahead and do more difficult content. And I think both of these offer something for both, and I think they're actually solid for open world farming, one of the best gems, or 2 of the best gems, and they're also like really good in PvP as well. So I'm actually high on these gems. I like these a lot. West March Barber. Cool. You can change your face, hair, and skin tone, and it's a free customization. And it looks like every 7 days you can get a free face change. Cool. Some people care about that. I personally do not. We have the recruit event coming back. Cool. If you get, it looks like you get, let's see, 3 friends to reach level 60. You're going to get some legendary crests, some rare crests, some normal gems, some dust. And if they're the new player, you're going to get a bunch of scrap and dust and gold. I mean, look at this. You get 2 dust, 30 scrap, and 5k gold. You'd think that they give you like 300 dust or 30,000 scrap or something like that, where it's actually meaningful. 2 dust is literally like 2 seconds of farming. Oh man, that is funny. That is funny. All right, we have the Season 8 Battle Pass coming as well. This will be happening on December 22nd, and looks like this is going to be the skins for it. Let's check these out for a second here. We have the Demon Hunter bag here. We have the Crusader right here. This looks like the Monk. We have the Wizard. This looks like the Necro, and then the Barb. Actually, a big fan of these skins. I think they're kind of cool. A little bit of solar eclipse kind of theme to it. I kind of like that. Like that a lot. Lastly, we have a couple more things to go over. We have a couple events. Hungering Moon, this is nothing new. You're going to get some magic find or some free rewards. Just do your daily activities. The Sacred Wilds Phantom Market. Okay, so this is looking like the Halloween kind of shop where you can roll some items here. And it looks like you're going to additional way to acquire new cosmetic sets. Using obols, you're going to draw 1 item at random. Each time you draw an item, the cost of the next draw will increase. Performing 10 draws guarantees that you'll receive all items, including the new cosmetic set. Obols can be purchased with Eternal Orbs, and any unspent obols will be converted into platinum. Okay, well, all players receive enough obols for a free first draw. Okay, so it's a pay-to-win shop. Nothing more to say. You're going to get 1 draw from here. Hopefully you get what you want. If you don't, you're screwed. I'm not going to be paying anything for this. And they basically made the new cosmetic set here pay to win. But check this out. It's a cross-class cosmetic right here. So that's the important part. I hope they continue to do this. I hope they just retroactively make all cosmetics cross-class. But this is a good change. Very happy about this. And we have bug fixes. I went and checked the bug fixes, but there's nothing new. So I don't know. There isn't anything as far as I saw. We can click on here, the known issues blog. June 1st is the last time it was updated, or November 1st. Cool. This is the bug fixes, December 6th. Nothing new. Cool. So overall thoughts, guys. Overall thoughts. The events look cool. Battle Pass looks cool. Recruit event is always good. West March Barbara is a nice quality of life thing. The new legendary gems actually have some viability, in my opinion. The new Heliquary bosses. So this is something that I think is actually very cool. Now, they recently capped the Heliquary. I want to see what they do to see if they change the Scoria aspect in any sense and in a way to increase the combat rating. I had some people say, oh, this is a good change for new players to catch up. What possible situation do you ever see? People are like casual players or new players. New players and casual players are different, okay? New players catching up, I could see that, and I like that change, okay? The fact that it's capped, Helicory is capped, isn't a bad thing in of itself. Okay. The problem I have with it is that you still have to do it for warband activity if you want to be be progressing your account. And yet they just remove another portion of advantage for those people that are actually actively playing the game. Okay. For casual players, they're never going to catch up. Okay. So if you're a casual player and you've been playing the game and you're sitting there like, oh, well, it's unfortunate that I will be forever behind people. You're always going to be behind people, regardless if Heliquary was going to be capped. And for new players, well, even if Heliquary wasn't capped, that wouldn't be a big difference for the grinders, right? Because it was exponentially increasing. The difference between a new player and a grinder that has been playing the game since day one wouldn't be that big, because eventually they would close the gap because the Scoria was continuously to raise. So I think that overall, the way I would have handled it is cap it. I don't mind that it's capped. The problem I have is that they capped it without any actual value for grinders. That's the problem I have. cap it, but then also give us an advantage for us players that have been playing for a while to feel like some sort of sense of accomplishment instead of just having to continuously do Helicory raids because we need to progress our tableau. That's all I'm saying. But hopefully they change this. They didn't really say anything for like a new Scoria as far as I saw. I didn't really see anything in regards to that. I don't know if they're going to have a new resource or something, but I hope that they do so that we can start progressing that. I think that would be kind of fun. I like this overall. I do think it's a lot more pay to win, depending on if they change the server Paragon. But we'll talk about that in just a second because that infuriates me. The new zone in Storm Point, which is great. Love to see it. Love to see it. The hero's journey resetting, I think that's overall a good change. I wish that they would change this, the fact that you need zone completion to finish it, because I think that overall that leaves a sour taste in people's mouth. But I think that this is overall a good change. Then we have the set items. I love that they're updating old set items that aren't really used at all. I love this. I think this is a great thing. They should continue to do this and balance it out. The monk changes. I don't know if monk really needed a big buff. I wish that they would do this for all classes instead of just monk. I feel like the only class that has really gotten some major changes in terms of adjustments is monk, and I think wizard actually got some adjustments as well. I wish they would do this for all classes. I don't know why they're just doing it for monk. I wish that I could see more of this. So good on Blizzard, and I hope that they do more. And new Paragon trees. I like this. I like this, but I hate this. I like this, and I hate this. New Paragon trees. The fact that they're resetting the server Paragon to 320 just makes zero sense to me. It makes zero sense to me, A, because they gave you a huge boost for being below server Paragon so you can catch up, okay? But then they're rolling back your server Paragon. So that huge boost means absolutely nothing for a lot of people, because people have been grinding at this like 400% experience recently to get to server Paragon 320. And they're like, oh, well, I'm going to get a big boost coming, and they're going to get nothing. They're going to get absolutely nothing because they're going to be at the server Paragon level. And then anyone that's been grinding just gets nothing. They get nothing. It's basically like, stop, don't play the game for a month, and then come back. That's basically what it feels like. And I hate that. The only thing that new players can do, I guess you could treat this as like a level cap, and oh, we have the new hell difficulties, and now that it's not barred by server Paragon level, you could still progress. So I will say my initial reaction was probably not complete in terms of, okay, yes, they are capping the server Paragon level, but they're adding the hell difficulties, and it looks like you can acquire them without being a certain level. And if that's true, then my initial reaction is tempered a little bit, okay? But I still don't think it's a good change. And that's important to note. It's important to note because I don't see why you are resetting the server Paragon level. I don't get it. I just don't get it. You could say, oh, well, we're going to make sure that the people who are below server Paragon can catch up. That's the whole reason for the increased set drops and the increased XP. That was the whole reason for that. Instead, all you're doing is hindering the new players' progression, hindering people who haven't been playing much, and now you're stalling everyone else who has been grinding the game dedicated for months, right? Because the bonus XP, the whole point was that you had this event, right? And you have the bonus XP up to 800%, and you're going to have 1600% XP because of the event, which is all we were saying in videos. And then you're removing the server Paragon level down to 320, and it's like, now the event's much less cool. Now the new zone's less cool. Now the grind is less fun. I don't know. Yeah. But I did skim over this. The chance to receive legendary set items, because I was so mad about the server Paragon, has been increased by 250%. It's actually a massive increase. So I'm very happy to see this. We were thinking like 30% increase, but 250% increase. This is crazy. This is crazy good. The new daily activities being increased. I'm gonna have to show you guys for the bounties and do a video on that, see how the bounties are affected. I'll have to run like a couple days of bounties just to see the feature updates. Cool. So here's my final thoughts. TLDR. I like this update. It's a good update. It's a very good update. Okay. I will say that I think people will read this server Paragon reduction and be sad. What I think they should have done in terms of PR, they should have put this change and put it below the Void Bound Heliquary, because people will read the Void Bound Heliquary like, oh, I can get to hell difficulties without being a certain level, and then they read the rollback a server level, and I'm like, oh, you know what? That sucks. That's a bad change, but at least it's not game breaking, right? Because my first impression was this is literally like I can't play the game, right? Like you literally just can't play the game. Assuming this was the old system, that you just can't play the game. But with the new changes, all it means is that you basically won't be able to level up for a while. And that means that the only progression you have is to get to the new hell difficulties, which is something, but it's not amazing. So overall, I think this is a great update. I'm really excited about the Void One Heliquary personally. I also am excited about the new zone to see if there's any new grinding spots, which I want to test out for you all. I like to do the math behind them. So when we get to the new zone, I'll do the math because I run the numbers. I run the XP, I run the legendary items per hour. And so when I say a zone is good, I compare it to other zones that I've already gone over. The pay-to-win event's kind of mediocre. The new events, other than that, are pretty cool. The new battle pass is pretty cool. Other than that, I'm not sure what else was in here. Oh, the new set item changes. This is my other part of this update that I really, really like. I hope they do more things like the set item changes, the new monk changes. So overall, my thoughts are great. I just wish that they didn't cap the server Paragon level. I like this update a lot, and I hope most people like this because this is a key moment for Diablo. I do think that it would have been better if they dropped a new class in here, if they potentially dropped the new PvP mode. But not to make this video super long, because I know this is going to be like a 40-minute video already. Just to give you guys a quick statement, I'll cut this in and put it in the front of the video. Server Paragon level capped. Update is really good. I like the update despite the server Paragon being reset back to 320. And the new hell difficulties being unlocked purely through combat rating is a good change. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And for those of you that just watched the TLDR at the front, well, thanks for watching anyways and clicking on the video. I'll see you all tomorrow. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below.